hasn't missed a start in 9 years. And just to give this context, Nick spends $0 on his body. Also hasn't missed a start in 9 years. So my takeaway,
that's true.
Expensive health is overrated. Nicholas, you're up, buddy.
It's true. Thank you, Jenna. That's a great take. All right, this is maybe amazingly a better take. America, the polls are open. Today's election day. We're a nonpartisan show. You vote for whoever the hell you want to vote for. But get out. If you're on the East Coast and most places polls are already open, get out there and vote. If it wasn't, you know how important it is because of how hard some people try to prevent you from voting. So get out there and vote. And remember, at every polling place in America, if you are in line before the polls close, they have to let you vote. So get out there and vote. Make today count, fellas and ladies.
All right, I vote that take was actually better than mine. Moving on to the Patriots now. To think it was only 2 seasons ago that this team won the Super Bowl. Since then, they've lost not only Tom Brady, but seemingly their entire identity. Like Brandon talks about, Patriots are 2-5. They're on a 4-game skid for the first time since 2002. And guys, here's the capper. We're starting to hear rumors about them actually cleaning house. Yesterday, for the first time, Bill Belichick shed some light on how things got so bad so quickly.
I mean, look, we paid Cam Newton $1 million. I mean, it's obvious we didn't have any money. You know, it's nobody's fault. That's what we did the last 5 years. We sold out and won 3 Super Bowls, played in the 4th, and played in an AFC Championship game. You know, this year we had less to work with. It's not an excuse. It's just a fact.
The reason this is news is because when do we ever hear anything other than 3 or 4 words out of Bill Belichick? This finally shedding some light on what the last couple of years have been. And Wilds, I'll start with you. Is Bill Belichick making excuses for why his team is 2-5 right now?
No. First of all, Jenna, I think you do an excellent job. And I like, I like when you take shots at Nick in the newsread. I like when you take shots at Baker Mayfield in the newsread. But then this Patriots thing, you're like, oh, the Patriots, this Gatorade dump, I don't know when that was. Who knows what's going on with this? Oh, boy, they should cancel the franchise. I'm like, Jenna, I thought we were supposed to be on the same team here. It's you and me versus Nick. It's all 3 of us versus Nick. Now all of a sudden you're stabbing me in the back. Anyways, look.
Never.
The Patriots got a bunch of dead money, okay? Here's the dead money. Carolina's got the most with 51. Jacksonville, the Jets, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Patriots, 26. Bill Belichick doesn't like that because Bill Belichick had to give Tom Brady a bunch of money. It's still sitting there, screwing up this year while he's playing for the Tampa Bay Bucks in MetLife. So I think Bill Belichick is mad. And when he says, hey, it's nobody's fault, well, it's somebody's fault, he's just saying it's not my fault. Bill Belichick wanted to move on a long time ago. Then this kind of got screwed up. I'm not a capologist, but you can read between the lines. And for anyone saying he's making an excuse, it's not an excuse. The person on the interview said, like, hey, well, some people are making an excuse. And he's like, what are you saying? He's like, well, I'm not saying it. Well, then it's not an excuse. No one is saying it's an excuse. Nobody. Bill Belichick doesn't say, he's just telling the truth. So do we want the guy to either say... No, Brandon, give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Actually, give me 17 seconds. 17 seconds. You either want this guy to go up in his hooded sweatshirt and grunt and give you non-answers, or you can explain how the league works. And fans of the NFL just need to decide. I would prefer he explain it and not crush him for it and say he's making excuses afterwards. Okay, Brandon, go. 17 seconds.
He just tried to explain it. He talked about the cap. He talked about how many Super Bowls they went to and won and AFC championships. Like, it's an excuse. And it's an excuse because all we've been talking about for the past 20 years is the Patriot way. This isn't the Patriot way. This is why they're crowned kings, because they always find a way to get it done. They always make the right decision. They always let the player go before his time is up, before everyone else would let him go. So this is not the Patriot way. So for Bill Belichick to sit here and make these excuses, it shows how human they finally are, right? Like, they've been standing on this pedestal for so long. If I'm Cam Newton in this situation, I'm ticked off. I'm ticked off because you sold me the Patriot way. Now, can Cam Newton play better? 100%. But when you look at the other side of it, you don't get me no help, no wide receivers, no tight ends, and you expect me to go out there and play at a high level? Well, when you sat me down on the bench and you said, hey, we're going to put in our our second string quarterback, then you should also pass your headset to Josh McDaniels and sat next to me. Let's hold each other accountable. I'm not doing my job at quarterback, and you're not doing your job at head coach GM.
Okay, so a number of things here, and this I think belies. If you watched the show yesterday, what Brandon was referencing earlier, he and I got into a heated argument, if you will, about Baker Mayfield, and I'm starting to understand why. I believe there is a big difference between an excuse and an explanation. I think Brandon very often lumps them into the same category, which a lot of athletes have been trained to do. That anything that is not get it done is an excuse, right? Like, I think that's how you guys are trained to hold yourselves accountable. To me, the win with Baker, and we don't have to relitigate it, was an explanation. To you, it was an excuse. To me, what Belichick is doing this week is an explanation, and to you, it resonates as an excuse. And you're not the only one. That wasn't me trying to take a shot. I just think it's a different way people look at things. But what I find most interesting is whether it's an excuse or an explanation, it is out of character for Belichick. He doesn't usually give either. And that's what Jenna was referencing, and that I totally agree with. And I think it is telling that he is, because typically Belichick's MO with the media is, my work speaks for itself. I'm not going to feed you anything. I'm not going to give you anything, because we're going to win 11, 12, 13 games, and y'all are going to have to shut up. This year, I think Belichick knows the work might not speak for itself. So, Brandon, that's why I think he's giving a little more actual, exactly right, which is why he's giving a little more actual information. Now, whether it's an excuse or an explanation or, you know, all of the above, it is, I think we all agree, Brandon, this interview was out of character for Bill Belichick. And I think that is very telling.
Well, we said it. Yeah, we said it 2 weeks ago. We're like, look, is it time to have this conversation about who was more important to this run, this dynasty? Was it Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? A lot of people were talking about it this offseason, and nobody started it up. We did like 2 weeks ago. And for me, it says a lot, because when you have you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, to me, that's everything. And we put Bill Belichick sometimes on a higher pedestal when really they're equal. Bill Belichick, he's known as the greatest coach of all time. He is the greatest coach of all time. But let's see you get it done without Tom Brady. That's what we all wanted to see, Wiles. We wanted to see your all-time great coach get it done without Tom Brady. And he's showing us that he's not doing that, and now it seems like he's making excuses.
So the question is this. I think it's a fair point, Brandon. When is the paper due? When is your final doctorate on Brady versus Belichick due? Is it due at week 17 that you're supposed to hand in your paper? Or is it due next year? Or is it due in 4 years? Or whenever Belichick decides to hang it up? Because I think everyone in the media wants to say it's due at week 8. It's over. Here's my paper. I'm done with it. Grade me right here. Oh, Brady's the winner. That's my thesis statement. I don't think that's the way necessarily Belichick is looking at it. I think Belichick, and I don't think we're tanking. I don't expect to make any moves today. But I think that Belichick may have a longer view than the media does in the Brady versus Belichick battle. Because Belichick's window is longer.
Of course. No. There's no doubt that's right. There's no doubt that's right, because Belichick knows you can coach till you're 70. And so even though Belichick's old as far as coaches go, he's not as old as far as Brady is compared to quarterbacks. So he is taking the longer view. But where I do need to circle back for a moment, what is not explained or excused by Tom Brady not being there, by the cap situation, by the opt-outs, by any of it, is why Bill Belichick has not hit on a first-round pick since Chandler Jones. Why he has not hit on a second-round pick since Jimmy Garoppolo. A big reason the Patriots are where they are is 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015. They didn't have a clear win from any first or second-round pick. And I know it can sound like revisionist history, but if you just go to the 2019 draft and just ask random Pat fans, hey, who's the wide receiver that excites you the most? You know what a lot of them would have said? I'm not sure the guy's name, but he looks like He-Man. I think he played in Mississippi. He's got initials DK something. And you know what I think most college football fans would have said? And they took N'Keal Harry. Hey, your team's going to draft a Georgia running back. Which one do you want? Everybody would have said Nick Chubb. Instead, they took Sony Michel. If just those two picks are different, if instead of Sony Michel and N'Keal Harry, you have Nick Chubb and DK Metcalf, this is all different. And the cap would be the same. The picks would be your future cap would be the same. The dead money would be the same. Fair. So there is part of this that Belichick's misses in the draft recently have come to roost a bit, which is one of the reasons the roster Nick, is somewhat bereft of talent. Yeah.
And Nick, this is why I get frustrated with you on this Tom Brady discussion, because who was there to cover it up? It was Tom Brady. So when you crush Tom Brady, that's why I can't understand it, because a great quarterback can cover up all of these little mistakes that guys make in special teams and defense, even in the scouting department.